we will be discussing a new topic, ray optics. This topic comes under optics. Optics is divided into two parts: ray optics, which is also called geometric optics, and you have another wave optics. That is the second part. Now we study about light here, and light, as you know, is an electromagnetic wave. Okay. So in this chapter we will be studying light as straight lines, as rays. But basically light is a wave. So human retina has the sensitivity to detect electromagnetic waves which are in the range 400 to 750 nanometer wavelength. This we are terming it as visible light. You remember when we were discussing about electromagnetic waves, we were discussing about electromagnetic spectra, where different waves of different frequencies and wavelength we have discussed. Out of that, one of the specific type of waves we have called it as visible light. So our retina is able to detect waves which are in this wavelength, commonly known as VIBGYOR, violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red. These are the lights which we are able to see, and combination of these, you may mix two colors and you may get another color. Okay, so this is the visible light range. Now light is both a ray and a wave phenomena. Here in this chapter we are discussing it as a ray, but basically light is a wave, a very very small. Nanometer means what? 10 power minus 9 meters. It is ridiculously small. It cannot be detected by a normal human eye. If you want to see that wavelength with your eye, it's not possible. Light travels at enormous and tremendous speed. Earlier it used to be assumed that light speed is infinite kind of a thing. However, it is not true. Later people have come to a conclusion that light speed is a finite thing, maybe very high, but it's definitely a finite thing, and it is definitely a measurable quantity, and they have measured it, and approximate value is 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second. 10 power 8 meter means 3 into 10 power 5 kilometer per second. So in 1 second, imagine it can travel 3 lakh kilometers. So speed of light in different medium is different. However, the speed of light in the vacuum is the maximum. Light travels at the maximum speed when it is traveling in vacuum. So in this chapter we will be denoting light as a ray. A ray is a straight line with an arrow mark. Arrow mark is going to indicate the direction in which the light ray is falling upon an object. Here you are going to talk about object and image. Okay, object can be anything. It can be a man, it can be a tree, it can be a car, it can be a mountain, but basically that's an object whose reflection you are trying to see in a mirror maybe. Okay, this basically light is actually like this, and if you kind of pan it, the exaggerated version will be like this. This is called, from crest to crest, it is called wavelength, lambda, and it is very very small. How much is it? It is in this range. So for practical purpose we are saying that light is like a ray. We are exploring the ray aspect in this chapter. If there are series of parallel rays, we are calling it as a beam of light. We are calling it as a beam of light. So in this chapter primarily we will be studying the phenomenon of reflection, refraction and dispersion. These three parameters we are going to study. We are calling it as phenomenon. Many times I have told in the class that phenomenon is any physical quantity which you are able to see, hear, something which can be physically defined. You release a ball from the top of a building, the ball is falling down. The falling down ball is not your fantasy, it is not your imagination, it is not philosophy. It is something you are able to perceive, you are able to see from your eye. It is a phenomenon. The rotating fan in your house, in your room, is a phenomenon. It is not your fantasy. So that phenomena is happening. You can ask me what is the speed of the blade. So deeper study of that. So reflection is a phenomenon. Often you will see these terms. Phenomenon means actually the meaning is that. So we will be focusing upon the construction and working of optical instruments and a little bit about human eye. Human retina is doing wonders. Had this not been possible, if this human eye, you see the wonder of human eye, had this not been possible, we wouldn't have been able to see the world, the beautiful world. Okay. Now here we will be talking about plane mirrors, spherical mirrors. These are reflecting surfaces. So a plane mirror, some of these topics you might have seen in your class 10 also. We will be making a deeper study in class 11 and class 12. A plane mirror basically is a flat surface which has got one reflecting surface. Okay, reflecting means kind of bouncing back. Imagine like you take a ball and you throw it towards a rubber ball, you throw it towards a wall. What is happening? The ball is bouncing back. The way you are throwing the ball to the wall and the way it is bouncing, light is not going to bounce like that. There are some rules, there are some laws, just to make you understand. Okay, light behaves in different funny ways, so we have to analyze. Similarly, refraction is another phenomenon. Okay, so in this it won't be bouncing but it will be traveling through. Similarly, dispersion is another phenomenon which we will be seeing later. So we have a plane mirror which is a flat surface. It has got one reflecting surface, another hard surface. The hard surface or the rough surface is shown like this symbol. Okay, so this is the reflecting surface. That means light is falling like this, it will reflect. You have got a spherical mirror. In spherical mirror, basically what you do is you take a big sphere, you cut it and you paint it. One side you polish it, another side you paint it. Obviously the painted surface behaves like this. It's a non-reflecting surface. So in this situation you have got the reflecting surface which is inside. So this type of mirror is called a concave mirror. If a hollow sphere is cut into parts and the outer surface of the cut part is painted, the outer surface is this part. What do you mean by cutting? Originally it was like this, let us say. You have cut it. So this is the outer part, this is the inner part, this is the inner part, this is the outer part. Outer part has been painted. So it is a non-reflecting surface or rough or hard surface. So if light is falling on that, it is going to be absorbed by it. There wouldn't be any reflection. Reflection will be from the shining part. So we have to see which part is the shining part. In this case, the inside is the shining part. One is always this is a confusion, concave. There is a word cave in that. Imagine this is a what you call a tunnel kind of a thing, and you are walking inside. How is the curvature? How is the curvature? The curvature is like this, isn't it? So the concave you can remember like that. Okay. In concave, the outer surface is painted. It is hard or rough surface. So some rays will be falling like this and it will be bouncing it will be reflecting like this. This is only indicative, just a schematic thing, that it is like exactly it will not happen like this, just indicative purpose. This mirror is also called converging mirror. Here rays converge. Okay, how would they converge and all that? There are some rules. Once you study those rules, you will understand. For the time being, you understand that concave mirror is also called converging mirror. The other type is convex mirror. Suppose you have taken a sphere, you have cut a part. What will happen? This part will be remaining. Okay, let us say this is part 1, then the other part will be part 2. Now if this part is painted from inside, in concave what you have done? You have painted outside. So in this you will be painting inside. Alright, so then it becomes a convex mirror. The situation will be something like this. Alright, so here light rays are falling and they are going like this. So this is the reflecting part, and inside is a non-reflecting part, rough surface. This is called convex. Here also the rays I have just shown indicating purpose, indicative purpose. Exactly, it is not like this. Here this type of mirror is called diverging mirror. After they fall on the mirror, the rays, they have a phenomenon of diverging. They diverge. Here they converge. So couple of quick points about real image and virtual image, type of images. All these things I think to some basic level you have studied in class 10. Real image, it is the collection of focus points actually made by converging rays, right? So here there is a situation. What type of mirror is this? Concave or convex? Outer part is non-reflecting. Here it's a concave thing, right? So let us say this is an object, and I am just for illustration purpose, a ray diagram is constructed. This whole thing is called a ray diagram. Now you see that after falling it is converging, right? It is converging. This ray and this ray, they are converging towards a point. So it is making a image. Now this type of image is called real image, and it's a concave mirror. Okay. Now virtual image, it is the collection of focus points. Collection of focus. So this point is a focus point, right? So it is the collection of focus point made by extension of diverging rays. So imagine a convex mirror. When light falls on that, there is a tendency that the rays will diverge. Here after falling, this is diverging, this is diverging. So we have back extended, then they are meeting at a point. So here the image is formed. Alright, so this is a, here the shining will be like this inside. So this is a case of virtual image. It is not a real image, it's a virtual image. Then again you will come across terms such as magnified image, diminished image. Magnification means enlargement. Object size is, let us say, 10 centimeters and image size is 100 centimeters. You will say object size is 10, image is 100. Let us say image is bigger or object is bigger? Image is bigger. So it is a magnified image. Diminished, object 10, image 2. Diminished, reduced. Okay, same means object 10, image 10, both same size. Then yeah, so here you can see it is, object is in the upward, in the, if you call this as y, this is as x, object in plus y, this is in minus y. So this is opposite of this. If you call, this is invert position, right? You have a inverted image. Inverted image. These are terms which you should understand. Okay. So one more term, inverted image. And If it is like this only, object like this, inverted means what? Object like this, image like this. Erect, another term is there. Object like this, image also like this. It is called erect image. So these are some basic terms. We will be seeing even more. You come across this term plano concave mirror. Plano concave mirror. So it is basically a plane plus concave. You can see here, this part is the plane part and this part is the concave part. Combination of these two. See, there must be some physical application of making such mirrors. Just for the sake of combinations, we are not going to make them, right? It costs us money. So there are different purposes, different type of mirrors are also used. So primarily the type of mirrors we are going to see that we have discussed. There are some rules of constructing ray diagrams. What is a ray diagram? And for concave and convex we have to see, and different situations we have to study, and some other terms. There is a name for this axis. Some important points are there where these images is formed and all that we are going to see in the coming videos. Thank you.